Hey guys, so we are at that park place, not the park place, a park place, some park place. Uh, no, we're at that park place. And I just did something about Assassin's Creed. We watched the trailer, the world trailer. Kind of disappointed. Also, am I seeing this right? That looks like someone with like a woman or someone with that freaking haircut, the pixie cut or whatever it is. But anyway, these people don't learn. They don't learn at all. These people are so set in their ways. They are so mentally unhinged and unstable that they think this is a great marketing tactic. Ubisoft runs to New York Times to attack players in defense of Assassin's Creed Shadows because nothing is going to get people to buy your game faster than attacking them. Nothing is going to get the fans more in the mood for your game than by going out and attacking them. French video game developer Ubisoft ran to the New York Times in order to attack its own players in an attempt to salvage its upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows game. Yes, because again, attacking the potential buyers are it's always such a great idea to do. Have these people learned nothing? You have come this far, and still you understand nothing. In a place straight out of Prime Video's playbook, it's not just out of Prime Videos, it's everything. Every company does this. You don't like our product, we're just going to come out and attack you and claim that your phobes isn't isms every time. Playbook for Lord of the Rings Rings of Power, Ubisoft leveraged Zachary Small and the New York Times, as well as a so called expert, to attack players ahead of the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah, the same thing. Freaking Sophia Nomvet as Disa, and they made it such a big. I'm the first black female dwarf. It's like we don't fucking care. You don't care? You're racist. Not to mention there were no black dwarves. But they came out and he's like, oh, you have a black elf and you have a black dwarf and this and that, and people were like, stop, please, can you just stick to Tolkien's work? And so everyone and their mother, shills for the media, and these corporations come out and like, oh, well, if you don't like these changes, it's not meant for you, and you're just a phobe race, you're a phobist and ism. Uh, First, the duo rose when Amazon released photos of its multicultural cast, even without character names or plot details. The studio endured a reflexive attacks from trolls, the anonymous online kind. The anonymous kind? I pretty sure people like Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic and As, they're not exactly anonymous. They put themselves out there. Their faces are out there. Their names are out there. Um, then cited a woman named Maria Rios Roldondo, who they described as a Tolkien scholar. However, she is anything but. Rather, she was a PhD student at the University of Glasgow. I remember this. Who is interested in ethics, feminist theory, and encountering the other countering the other in Tolkien's works. He also happened to be the Equality and Diversity Officer for the University of Glasgow's Center for Fantasy and the Fantastic. I think I remember I said something about us always fucking Glasgow. Always fucking Glasgow. Big apologies for anyone who actually lives there. I'm sure you guys are amazing. But Glasgow is like the equivalent of like Florida man. You know? You just got a reputation. Uh she was used by Vanity Fair to attack Tolkien fans imply they are racist for simply wanting a lore accurate adaptation. There's nothing wrong with, these are the same people who are taking real characters, or not real characters, real people like, Anne Boleyn, and making them black. Taking Cleopatra, who wasn't Egyptian, and making her black. She was like Greek. So to the point where the Egyptians were like, can you not? She was one of our greatest pharaohs, but she wasn't black. She was white. Maybe tan, maybe at best, but she wasn't black. You not ruin our history. Uh, Maldonado question. Obviously, there was going to be push and backlash, but the question is from whom? Who are these people that feel so threatened or disgusted by the idea that an elf is black or Latino or Asian? Ubisoft has done something similar with New York Times and Small, like Reznikan and Robinson. Small wrote, some gamers erupted over his appearance, convinced that the franchise, known for its immersive recreations of the past, had gone woke. Yes, because they took someone like Yasuke, who, yes, might have been in feudal Japan, but he was a bodyguard at best. He was not a full-blown samurai. He wasn't doing anything major that was pivoting the the way that it was the whole thing was going. He was a bodyguard. So they're taking a person who was historically there in Japan, making him something that he wasn't actually, when he was there. And then when people, especially the Japanese, call out this historic inaccuracy, they're like, oh well, you're just a bunch of racists. You're just a bunch of racists. I mean, I just said last night, because that's when I did the video. I watched the World trailer. Do you know how many samurai existed in feudal Japan that they could have made a story about? And they picked the one guy who wasn't actually a samurai. And then they come out there and fucking say, oh, yeah, we respect Japanese culture and its heritage. No, you don't. Yasuke was not a fucking samurai. He was a bodyguard at best. No, gone woke by including black character in a depiction of 16th century Japan. He then claims that developers received personal attacks and death threats during an online harassment campaign. Oh, shut up. Okay, so if that is happening, grow the fuck up. If you're going to send death threats to someone because you don't like what they did, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. No one deserves to have death threats targeted at them just because you don't like the fact that they made a black dude the main character of Assassin's Creed. Okay? So if you're one of those little babies who send death threats towards people, grow the fuck up. Just, I don't... Either side, I don't care. Left, right, middle, it doesn't matter. If you're sending, hateful crap like that and wishing to end someone's life because you disagree with them, you're a fucking idiot. So, just putting that out there. To no surprise, he shares no evidence of such attacks or threats. After attacking gamers, Small then weaves a false narrative that he's already been refuted for months by citing historian Yu Hirayama. Hirayama. I said Hariyama. I'm thinking fucking Pokemon here. Who is an admitted communist. That's what I was saying in last night's video. That these people are like freaking working together with experts who are basically like that. They're either Japanese Americans who are liberals. So they're gonna say, "Oh yes, well, sources say that the Yasuke was a very important figure in feudal Japan, and there have been many such writings about his deeds." No, there is nothing. He was a bodyguard. Get the fuck over it. Um, small sites Hariyama. I'm just gonna say Hariyama. Claims that it was without question that Yasuke was a samurai. There was a very there are very few historical documents about him, but there's no doubt that he was a samurai who served Nobunaga. However, it's highly disputed that he was a samurai, as historian Yuichi Goza, who is a faculty member of the International Research Center for Japanese Studios, focusing on Japanese medieval history and the author of What is a Samurai, speculated that Yasuke was simply Nobunaga's bodyguard and an entertainer rather than a samurai. So, Ghost responded, there are a few historical records about Yasuke, so it is difficult to say. The history of Yasuke has not been subject to much research, in part because the history of personalities is not the mainstream of historical studies. In the 15-volume Nobunaga Koki, in the collection of Sonkei Kakubunko, which is one of the biographies of the Nobunaga Koki, a chronicle of Nobunaga's life, there is a description of Nobunaga giving Yasuke a sword and a house, indicating that he was treated him as a samurai. However, there is something that this is something that only appears in this biography among the dozens of manuscripts of the Nobunaga Chronicle, and we cannot deny the possibility that this was added later when this manuscript was transcribed. Continued. Also, even if he was a samurai, he may have been a formality. For example, in the Edo period, feudal lords who were fond of sumo had their own personal wrestlers. Formerly, they were treated as vassals or samurai and allowed to wear a sword. But even if a war broke out, it was not expected that the feudal lords would allow their retainers to fight on the battlefield. Not only did Small cite the communist Hariyama, but like Vanity Fair, he cited Kazuma Hashimoto, who he described as a Japanese consultant and translator in the video game industry. Hashimoto told Small, it was people in the West who were upset with seeing Yasuke as a samurai. How much do we have left? Okay, we're almost done. Uh, this is patently false and makes absolutely no sense given Small even admits that Ubisoft apologized to Japanese players. Yeah. Small wrote, after the online backlash, the game's development team attempted to such concerns. Yeah. An apology. In which basically we here we respect and love the rich heritage and culture of of Japan just as much as you do, as they said that to Japanese players. I seriously doubt you appreciate their heritage as much as they do. I seriously doubt that. Um, About the game's authenticity, apologizing in a lengthy statement for promotional materials that it said it had bothered some Japanese audiences. In fact, he even noticed that a political party in Japan formally asked the government to comment on what it considered historical inaccuracies. When you get your freaking government involved in the game, saying, "Hey, can you not do this? Can you not inaccurately portray our history?" Yeah, you know you've done goofed. Um, Japanese YouTuber Shoei Kondo also explained a number of reasons why Japanese gamers are opposing the game and have signed a petition calling for Ubisoft to cease development on it. He said, we are protesting marketing DEI's historical distortions stemming from their disregard for Asians and their arrogance and discriminatory responses from the Japanese from Japan. From there, he focuses in his video on why what he describes as the biggest attempt to distort history in Japan. Japan. That is the legendary samurai they claim Yasuke. Yeah, I mean, again, they don't learn. So they mess up someone's history by saying, "Oh, well, we respect you guys. We respect you guys. We respect your rich culture and heritage. We love Japan, and we've always wanted to make a game like this. But we're gonna take a character, a figure in ancient Japan, and who never was a samurai, and we're gonna make him a samurai because we respect your history so much." And then when people clearly have a problem with that, it's, "Oh, well, you just hate him because he's black. You just hate him because you're just a bunch of phobes and isms." And it's like, no, you're saying you want a historical accuracy. Yasuke was not a samurai. Of all the samurai you could have made a story about, why did you pick him? One of them who wasn't a samurai. You had a female samurai, you could have made a game about her. That would have been cool. But this is also when they were using Chinese architecture instead of Japanese, using a reenactment group banner for like the Japanese militia in the game. I think there's something I heard something like someone said something about music, something about the music, but it was just one thing after another. But they're coming out saying, "Oh, you're just a bunch of phobes, and isms," when the company is the one getting all this crap wrong. So clearly, you don't respect Japan. You don't respect their heritage and culture. And then now they're doing what everyone else is freaking doing, having people come out in their, in their stead and to represent them. Like, "Oh, well, you should leave big company alone. You're just a bunch of phobes, and isms. If you don't like this game, it's because you don't like strong black people and this." And just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. This is why companies are losing money. This is why a lot of companies are having to lay off people and either, just go bankrupt or whatever, because this strategy doesn't work. You can't guilt people into freaking buying your shitty game. Okay, when you come, is that what you think is going? Is that what's going on in your head? Well, if we consider, have we considered maybe calling everyone a phobe is an ism, and like guilt them into buying our game? Because we wanna, because if we call them a phobe is an ism, they'll feel so compelled to buy it as proof that they're not a phobist or ism. Was that the idea? Let's just insult people who are potentially going to buy the game, thinking that, oh, it's going to be a great way to guilt people into it. Because, well, if you don't want to be seen as a phobicism, you'll buy this game. But then it's directly the opposite happening here, and it's, okay, well, I'm just not going to buy the game then. But there wasn't supposed to. You were supposed to buy the game. No, no. I'm tired of companies coming out and trying to say that I'm a racist or homophobe or this or that because I don't like the game. Because I don't like the direction that game companies are taking these games nowadays with this fucking forced DEI bullshit. So I'm speaking with my wallet. So the reverse psychology bullcrap you were trying to pull, it's not working. It's not working. I'm going to save my money for something actually good. So I'm assuming that's what was going on in their mind, that they thought that, oh, well, maybe if we call people phobes and isms enough, they'll feel compelled to buy the game because they don't want to be seen as a phobist or ism. So, but maybe it's the fact that you're taking a person from history who had no major significant role, you're putting him in a game where you say, oh, well, we respect Japanese culture and its heritage, while getting multiple things wrong, despite the fact that you said you're working closely with experts And not one of these experts looked at this game and said, "Oh, hey, that's Chinese architecture. That's from China. Those buildings, the way they look, that's from China." No, none of these experts filled you in on that. Because it seems like all these things that were pointed out were by the fans, by people who actually respect Japanese culture. But sure, you do you. If you think this is going to sell more games, then go at it. Have New York Times, Washington Post, Huffington Post, ABC, NBC, CNN, all these people, just have them all come out and attack fans. I'm sure it'll work well for you in the end. I'm sure it'll work well. I'm sure this will be the best-selling game of this year. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.